Regardless of whether we're teaching in New York City or Sydney, Australia, we need to make sure that our students are prepared with the skills necessary to be digital citizens of the future. When we think about the ISTE standards and talking about what that means for our classroom, we want students to be able to actually cultivate their digital identity, but we want to make sure that we manage their personal data, we preserve that privacy that we've been talking about, and we want to make sure that we're able to see that students are able to develop the skills they need to be able to manage their own profile. Here's some tips on how to make that happen in your classroom. The first place to begin is with a tool like Common Sense Media. This is a completely open source site that allows us to be able to tap into the resources for educators that we can use with our students. Clicking on the resources for educators, we'll see very quickly that there's an entire portfolio of digital citizenship resources that we can provide to our students. One of the things that our students can actually earn on their own is a digital passport. Shows that they're able to actually develop the critical skills needed for digital safety, respect, and understanding of community. Now, another skill that we talked about in our article is making sure that our understanding for our students is well refined with regards to knowing about the terms and conditions and privacy policies that can be found on many websites. So if we go to a couple of different examples, it's important for us to know where to find that. If we go to the very bottom of most typical web-based tools, especially education ones, we'll see that there are great resources about the privacy policies of that particular tool. We're looking for things that are clear, that students are going to have their privacy protected, and also making sure that schools and districts are able to act on behalf of students if they are under the age of 13. You can refer back to our article on COPA to make sure that that's something that you understand. Lastly, we want to make sure that our students, as we talked about in our article, are creating their own content. So whether it's using tools to create movies or apps that are out there to create their own drawings, or even better, to create their own music and create their own score instead of going out and using music. It's also equally important that we visit the websites of those particular tools and ask students to review the privacy policies, because as soon as they do that, what they'll see very quickly is that these sites do collect information about them and are usually very explicit, as what we will see here on this particular site, about how they use personal information as well as how they make sure that students under the age of 13 are protected. So it's very important that we teach our students how to develop this skill. So as we come back and we think about the ISTE standards for students, we have to remember that while there are 7 of them, one of the principal foundations of them is for students to be prepared to be digital citizens. And in order to be able to do that, they have to be able to manage those 4 key areas of cultivating and managing their identity, making sure that they manage their information, and understand and are aware of the privacy and security that's necessary when tools are collecting information. They need to make sure they recognize the rights and responsibilities of all of the students that are in that digital community as well, and make sure that they are acting in an ethical way. And so when we're able to do that and our students are able to do that, that's when we know we have been able to cultivate that skill within them.